What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another album review, and today I am talking about the latest offering from Dream Evil with Metal Gods. This also came out on July 26th, this time on Century Media Records, and, well, this is a band I've been needing to check out more in depth for quite a while, because this is a Swedish power metal / classic heavy metal band, and the big thing that got me interested in this band is the rhythm guitarist is none other than Fredrik Nordstrom, who is a legendary producer in all of Sweden. After all, he's done work with bands like At the Gates, Opeth, Obscura, among so many bands across the board and all sorts of subgenres within metal. So he's one of the best producers in metal, and turns out he's a hell of an underrated riff writer and guitarist. And this band was primarily done to kind of explore more Fredrik. I sounded like Elmer Fudd for a second. Fredrik's classic heavy metal and borderline power metal influences. And I gotta say, like, his production job on this album, basically, yesterday when I reviewed the Powerwolf album, I thought, like, the production was kind of inconsistent, whether it be because of, you know, the underproduced guitars, overproduced drums. Here, everything, I think, sounds natural, organic, and yet still has a nice modern crunch to it. Kicking things off with the title track, Metal Gods, it's heavy chugs in the beginning with some like dissonant melodic progressions, but you do get into some like big classic heavy metal riffs and grooves, and I love how in the lyrics they reference Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Manowar in the lyrics, so I thought that was pretty funny. But I will say the lead work on the entire album, like as far as the lead work goes, top to bottom, shred-tastic or great feeling, or even at times, showcasing a little bit of like technical prowess, whether it be in the taps or sweep-picking solos. Kind of all over the place on this album. You get like varying leads, but then you get into a track like Chosen Force in terms of the song. Starts with like clean melodies, even a somber lead melody that comes in, more classic metal punch and crunch, and I just love how they went more towards classic heavy metal. But then you even get into the following track, The Tyrant Dies at Dawn. You get some cool gang vocals, but also some power metal gallops. So this is maybe the one song on the entire album where you could say it was power metal, but everything else I thought was more close to classic heavy metal. This was the closest you got to power metal, and it was just in those little gallops and the shred-tastic guitars before you go back to classic metal, and then it gets into like a nice triplet swing with some like gang vocals, kind of like Accept a little bit. And I will say, I think Accept is one of the key elements of inspiration on this entire album. Then you get into a song like Lightning Strikes, feels very Judas Priest, like in the riffs and the twin guitar attack. It's just packed to the brim with nothing but awesome Judas Priest worship. And this is one of those songs that has those more tapping, sweeping sections within the guitar solo. Excuse me. And then you get into a song like Fight in the Night. Borders on thrash metal a little bit. Like, there's some more thrashy bite to the riffage, and it's kind of close to Exodus, like recent Exodus a little bit, but you do get some more heroic guitar moments, whether it be in the leads or melody, to make it feel like you're gonna win the fight in the night, you piece of shit. And then you get into Masters of Arms, so now we're into the second half, and this song, a little bit darker, like the melodies get a little bit darker, and the songwriting kind of has a bit of a darker tone. Like, it still has those classic heavy metal nods from Accept in particular, but there's a little bit of modern Amorphous influence on this song, which I thought was really cool. But the lead in particular on this song felt like it was pulled straight from the 80s. Name any classic heavy metal solo in the 80s, that's basically what this solo was, and it was Sweet. Then we get into Born in Hell, almost like thrashy, Accept and Judas Priest all over. There's some chugging riffs that come up here and there as well. Then following that with the song Insane, kind of Hammerfall elements going on, elements similar to Hammerfall, which fellow Swedish band that plays like a hybrid of power metal and classic heavy metal. Granted, I think Hammerfall is a little bit more on the power metal side of the fusion, whereas this is more towards classic heavy metal. But there were some Hammerfall elements I heard on this track. Then you get into a song like Night Stalker, which might have been one of my favorite songs on the album. Some triplet chugs and swings, kind of like Accept meets Testament, if that makes any sense. And it's one of the catchier songs, and dare I say, that them lead harmonies were quite sultry like Iron Maiden's. Almost like that should be a solo when you're on a date with a chick and you're going to give her the ground and pound until she don't make a sound. If anybody got that reference, I will give you a cookie because you're a good boy. Anyways, and then to the closing track, Y.A.N.A. or I forget what it meant because my brain's kind of all over the place because so much shit has been going on today. But regardless, the closing track kind of feels a little more doom-laden. Like it's slower. It's the slowest song on the entire album. It's got more doomy tempos and riffs, but there's some more clean melodies. Like in the verses, you get these soothing clean melodies, even a nice clean melody at the end, and the lead is way more atmospheric. Like it's not flashy or over the top shred. It's mostly there to feel like it's accenting the atmosphere of the song. Now, this album's over 41 minutes and it's 10 tracks, so average length about 3 minutes 45 seconds, close to 4 minutes on average. Like Chosen Force was the longest track at just a hair over 5 minutes, but it didn't feel like it dragged at all. And I think songwriting wise, if you love classic heavy metal, this is definitely going to be right up your alley. This is kind of what I wanted out of the Powerwolf album, even though that was definitely more towards power metal. This is the kind of production I would love to hear on a Powerwolf album, where the guitars have more punch and crunch, and the drums don't sound overproduced. So overall, not really much to nitpick about other than the fact that, yeah, it might come across as a little bit cheesy, but hey, it's like classic heavy metal cheesy, and I like that. So overall, I'm going to give this 4 out of 5. I thought this was a great album, and definitely what I was expecting out of Powerwolf in terms of production, but I didn't get it, whereas here, I got the production I wanted, and it's all thanks to Fredrik Nordstrom. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.